It was raining heavily in Ikeja. A 21-year-old NYSC corper, David, stood under the leaking zinc roofing of the police station, soaked, shivering, but not from the rain, but from what just happened. When he got inside, in front of him, seated with cold fire in her eyes, was a 17-year-old girl in a casual outfit. Her brows furrowed in betrayal. She refused to look at him. Next to her was her mother, Anita, a beautiful UK-based nurse, stone-faced, holding a file with screenshots, voice notes, and the fake love letters David had sent her under the name Dr. Kelvin Johnson from Toronto, Canada. David stood there trembling, not because the police officer pointed a gun at him, but because the girl he thought he loved and already imagined marrying one day just stood up and said clearly, "Mommy, this is the guy. I have all the voice notes, the chat screenshots, and even the bank logs. He's the scammer." Holding the file and the fake love letters David had sent her under a fake name. And then Anita said one sentence that made everyone there freeze. "He scammed me. He played me, but my own daughter, my only child, he goes for her instead. Wicked man." Bam. Danielle. Sweet, beautiful Danielle. The same girl who called him babe last night. The same girl who shared ice cream with him on their movie dates. Now, she was holding his entire life in a flash drive. He woke up from the dream that scared him to his bones, panting. It was slowly becoming a reality. So, let's rewind. Everything started with three things: a laptop, a broke and desperate Yahoo boy, a smart-ass computer science genius that just graduated from one of the well-known universities in the country. David was one of the smartest guys in his Yahoo crew. He wasn't loud like the other guys. No tattoos, no big boys energy, just a calm face and two phones always buzzing. He was the one they called emotional format king. He had one hot fake identity: Dr. Kelvin Johnson, a Nigerian-born Canadian doctor looking for love. Widowed, humble, rich, and lonely. As for the women on Facebook, they were hooked. Then came Anita. She was 39, UK-based, a single mother. Her profile looked very simple, but her Facebook pics definitely screamed well off. So he started sweet-talking her. But Anita didn't rush. She said, "I have a teenage daughter. I can't be distracted." So he even invited Kelvin into her family life. She started sending pictures and videos of her home, food, and her beautiful 17-year-old daughter, Danielle. And that was where the wahala started. You see, Danielle was not just fine. She was smart, playful, and emotionally deep. She didn't act like say she be Ajebo. She was always in hoodie and glasses, giving Gen Z nerd. And strangely, he had a soft spot for nerds. More like beauty with brains. He had seen her first on a video call with Anita when she was so engrossed in the book she was reading in the kitchen that she didn't look up, not even once. She once told Kevin over a video call, "You sound way younger than my mom, or maybe it's just my hairs. Anyway, if you're lying, just know that I'm watching you from my ring light." But he was a boss in the game. He always swapped his face to appear as someone else while on live video call. David laughed too hard that day. He started having feelings for her. He tried to fight it, but she was just so real. She didn't care about his money. She was just Danielle. And slowly, he started looking forward to her more than her mother. 1 month later, he had just failed to collect from his abroad woman, Mrs. Anita, his so-called maga. But somehow, this particular maga vexed him. Why? Because instead of crying like the others, Anita called her bank and reversed the entire payment with confidence. She even told him over email, "Next time you try this with me, I would make sure you go down for it." Funny enough, there won't be a next time. David was shook. His ego shattered while his gang mocked him. Sunday, his Yahoo boss, even said, "Guy, na small girl fit scam you safe." David vowed to do revenge. So he planned to trace Anita, pretend like a good boy, and make her pay emotionally by targeting her daughter. But there was just one thing. He was short of opportunities. But during his NYSC posting, 3 months later, guess where they sent David? Ikeja, Lagos. Yes, the same area Anita recently moved to. Somehow, life handed him the perfect opportunity. One day, while helping a neighbor carry cooler into a compound, he met a girl outside. But not just any. She was tall, caramel glass skin, natural hair curls, reading Chimamanda's book. She smiled at him and he froze. She was beautiful, but even more shocking, she looked like a younger version of his former maga, Mrs. Anita. That was Danielle. So, David followed the plan perfectly, just like a movie script. Bump into her by mistake at the supermarket, offer her help, share laughs, talk about music, exchange WhatsApp, and become a lesson teacher. Because Danielle was 17, but she was very sharp, but also soft on the inside. She was also very sweet and funny. She called him Uncle Kaki Man at first, then slowly just Davy. The first time she referred to him as a corper, he had walked closer, his hands slightly brushing hers. Her fingers were trembling. His voice immediately switched to a low husky voice and almost whispered, "It's core member, Malicham." She stepped back with an look, obviously caught unaware. At that moment, he noticed the glint of desire in her eyes. She was falling for him, and just as he expected, she didn't say anything about him calling her Omalicha, his beauty. He started to fall for her, genuinely, not fake love, but real feelings. They would gist for hours, share dreams, watch Nollywood series together. But what David didn't know was that someone else was watching too. Hey, you see, Anita, Danielle's mom, wasn't just a victim. She worked with an NGO that trained volunteers to track and report cybercrime. She had suspected David from the very beginning, but she wasn't just sure. So she gave her daughter Danielle a task, which is to help her expose David. At first, Danielle thought it was just another digital safety mission, but as she got closer to David, she saw something different. It wasn't like the others. He was funny, smart, gentle. He treated her with respect, and he listened. So Danielle was confused and torn, but she still recorded every date, every chat, every joke, every single thing that slipped from him until it was time. On a cool Sunday afternoon, Anita invited David over. She said she wanted to thank him for helping Danielle with WAEC lessons, but he was scared. What if she recognized him? His voice. He knew he was holding a very risky guard, but he wanted to make good impression and stay positive. So David dressed clean, nice shoes, fresh perfume. He even brought gala and malt, Anita's favorite. As he entered the living room, Anita smiled and offered him her seat. Danielle sat opposite him. He thought this was a step forward until Anita stood up and said, "You remember that foreign account you tried to empty last year?" David's face dropped. Danielle pulled out a flash drive right in front of his eyes. Anita called in 2 NGO agents and a police officer. David's whole world paused. He looked at Danielle, but she avoided his eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. But just as Danielle raised his hand in surrender, Mr. Ekene, Danielle's uncle and tech expert, walked in. But instead of arresting David, he said, "You passed." Everyone paused, but he continued, "We have been watching you for months, waiting to see if you will go back to fraud. But instead, you changed. You deleted your scamming tools. You even helped Danielle. You returned the small money you took from Anita anonymously last week." David was glad he had confessed to Mr. Ekene secretly, seeking help to live Yahoo life. He just didn't know whether Danielle already knew. But when he turned to look at her, she looked like she had no idea either. So, Danielle started crying. David cried too, so they hugged. But 1 week later, Tunde, remember him? David's old Yahoo gang boss, showed up, threatening to leak an old video of David, which got everyone's attention. But what was even more shocking was what was inside that video. Wahala. Trouble never ends, because the very moment he saw Tunde, he knew that this was just the beginning. Alright, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, which you must have, do well to click on the like button. Also click on the red subscribe button to be a part of this amazing storytelling channel, so you don't get to miss out on the latest mind-blowing and fun stories I have in stock for you guys. Part 2 of this story will be dropping very soon and you don't want to miss it, so go ahead and subscribe now. And be sure to leave a comment. This is my first video and I would love to get a review from you. Also, what do you think is going to happen to David? Is Danielle and her UK mom still going to love him after watching that video? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Bye.